Welcome to Mr. Local. నేను మీ ప్రియా మీకు ఈరోజు మోస్ట్ హ్యాండ్సమ్ గాయని తీసుకొని వచ్చాను విశ్వవేర్ సింగ్ ఈయన ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ డైరెక్టర్ ట్రాన్స్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిసార్ట్ అండ్ హోటల్ ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్. So welcome to Mr.
Thank you for putting me on your show.
Thank you, you have given your time. This is City Great Personality. So sir, my first question is, I'm all covering about the personality. Today you have come to executive director of this hospitality management.
Yeah.
So how was your childhood?
My childhood was quite diverse. I'm the son of a hotelier, so it is as good or bad as being the child of an army guy. We moved a lot, so I went to 8 different schools around the country, and I think my brother did even more. And we were in different places. We came to Hyderabad in '92,
Okay.
and then we've been going and coming to Hyderabad. So most of my friends are in Hyderabad.
Okay.
And after that, I went off to university abroad, came back. I studied to be a banker, worked in HSBC for a bit, and then moved on to writing very accidentally. So I was part of the initial journey where your local magazine, UNI magazine, was launched. I was its creative editor. And then I moved to Bombay, where I started working with Hello magazine,
Okay.
which was owned by Times of India and BBC. I worked with them for about 7 years, and I left them as assistant editor. And I joined Trans Hotels, which is my family-owned company here in Hyderabad,
Yes.
about 4 years back.
First time I'm hearing something, army and
No, we weren't in the
boy
army.
who is brought up in this is comparison. Your comparison was like
Yes, hoteliers and army personnel.
Yeah.
So they move around a lot. We lived in Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Sri Lanka, and and my parents are now in Jaipur, so we move around quite a lot.
So how did you find, because everyone don't get an opportunity to travel and all. So how did you find like traveling different places and did that impact on your personality?
I think travel is always a good thing because it broadens your scope of understanding people and places. Living in different parts of India is always a great thing, and
Yes.
it allows your personality to develop. So living in Delhi is different, living in Bombay is different, living in Calcutta is different, and living in Hyderabad is totally different. But I can confidently say that I've experienced north, south, east and west of our country. And so it's an eye-opener. The people you meet, the different cultures you kind of get to see. Our family always made it a point to travel extensively and see different parts of the world. I think I got to travel a lot with Hello magazine as well. And I think that made me a better person. So you learn so much more. You learn about different people, their cultures, the cities. You learn about languages, and that makes you a far more all-rounded person.
Yeah. So while traveling, you got exposed to many things. Because of that, you became a writer. Can I say that?
I can't say that. When I actually started writing, it was a big accident. I never wanted to write.
Okay.
But I was good at writing. I was the debates captain of my school.
Okay.
I used to write essays which were appreciated, and I never really studied writing, or I never studied journalism. But when I joined UNI, they asked me to write an article, and I wrote it. And then I had the good fortune of being trained by a few good editors.
Yes.
One of my first editors was a gentleman from New York called David Juman,
Good.
and he taught me, I think, the way you write,
Way
the
you
style,
have to write,
the
yeah.
grammar, the quotes, all of
Yes.
that. Another person who I worked with closely who taught me writing was Sangeeta Wadhwani at Hello magazine, the executive editor. And I had the good fortune of spending time and getting lessons from Shobha De. So I wrote and authored a book for Penguin. It was the biography of Yash Birla, and it was commissioned by Shobha De. And I remember I had no idea about how to write a book, but she literally handheld me and taught me how to do it. So I think very few people can say that they work with some big writers in their life who've been literally spoon-fed and taught how to write. But I was lucky enough to get that.
Okay. So what are you more interested and you're passionate about?
I enjoy writing, I enjoy travel, and currently, of course, I'm a hotelier. So, hotels has been in our blood. We've been born and brought up in hotels throughout. My mother's family is also hoteliers. She was born and brought up in hotels. My dad is, of course, a first generation hotelier, but he spent 40 years with the hotel industry, and he retired um, from the Taj as the chief operating officer of their business division. So we know about the inner workings of hotels. It comes very easily to us. And at the moment, yes, of course, the focus is on hoteliering and on hospitality.
My son always liked the ambience of hotels. His special gift or a special place is like Mama Buddha Hotel. Let's go. Let's go and stay there. That is a very frequent question we keep asking. So I'm putting this question to you. Hotel or a home?
It's a difficult question. So I think I think for us, hotels have been home for
Yes.
many years. We lived for months on end, sometimes even for years, in hotels. And my father used to joke that somebody once asked us when we were kids, where does milk come from, and we said room service. So it's
Come from home service.
it's like that. But growing up, I think home is where you're most comfortable. And whenever we had a chance to kind of go back to our homes, be it in different parts of the country, it was always the best feeling. A hotel is a piece of magic. So when you leave your home and you go to a hotel and you're going for that experience, you're going for that room, you're going for that shower, you're going for that swimming pool, you're going for that lobby, the ambience, the food, the restaurant, and it is in many ways the pinnacle of the civilized world.
Yes.
So if you go to some of the best hotels around the world, whether it's the Lanesborough in London or the Dorchester or the Taj Bombay or the Raffles in Singapore, these are hotels where they've taken service standards to such high degrees that you actually appreciate that. And I think we were always taught, my father told us that his heroes were hoteliers. Nobody would know, there was a general manager of the Oriental Hotel in Bangkok, Kurt Wacht Weitel, and he was the GM of that hotel for several decades.
Oh.
But he made that hotel a legendary hotel. And as children, we grew up hearing stories of
Stories, yes.
hotelier heroes. So that's what I think a hotel has, that piece of magic, which we all enjoy, and I'm sure so does your son.
So nice. I will pass all the information to him.
Yes.
Okay, now the COVID situation, everybody are at home.
Yes.
So why people are avoiding hotels? Like,
Well, obviously, because it's a public area, and at the moment, we've ourselves seen that hospitality has been the worst hit.
yes.
And people are not really wanting to come out, not really wanting to eat out, people are not wanting to stay out for obvious security and safety reasons. Safety because you don't want to come into contact with somebody whose medical history you don't know. But I think hotels have done a great job, especially in Hyderabad and in India, of putting into effect these measures,
yes.
which is the safety measures. So even us at Trans, we've kind of put in a long list of safety measures, be it pre-screening the people who enter our properties, be it the sanitizing, be it the the cleaning up, the extra cleaning that is required, the training of the staff. All of that has been put into place, and it's required a considerable amount of investment. We are gearing up to live in a totally different world. It's the world where the
Yes.
pandemic has taken over. And hotels have been hit, but we have seen that the attitude is changing. So over the next few months, we are looking forward to going back to business as normal. And mainly the business that is happening right now is weddings, because you really can't stop a wedding.
Yes, we can't stop.
So, but having said that, people are coming out, they're wanting to kind of go, they're wanting to visit resorts, they're wanting to go and stay out, they're wanting
Yes.
to go and eat out. I think just last night I went for a drive around Hyderabad, and I saw that all the ice cream joints on Jubilee Hills were full. And the cafes are slowly getting full, the restaurants
Yes.
are getting full, liquor permission will be given soon.
Yes.
And when that happens, the bars will be buzzing once again.
Yes.
So
Why not
it'll-
hotels?
yeah, It'll become normal. When travel opens up,
Yes.
when international travel opens up more
Yes.
and becomes freer, things will be perfectly fine.
Okay, so any new change after this COVID that you are implementing?
I think mm, COVID has really taught us that there were some basic standards of cleanliness which all of us should have been following. The hand sanitizing is something that I think can be taken as a permanent sort of thing. We'll continuously want to sanitize our hands after having met people, having touched doorknobs, or having gone into a public area. Um, I hope that there's no world where we have to wear a mask all throughout,
Yes, yes.
because it is an inconvenience. And while we are at a distance right now, I think we've also worn a mask throughout. But hopefully, when this pandemic is over, we'll know that there is a certain minimum level of sanitization that we kind of need to work around, and that should be in place, whether COVID or no COVID.
Yeah, in the first place, these hospitalities, whether it is a hygiene or the cleanliness, usually they maintain it. So it
Yes.
is nothing a new thing for you.
It's-
Maybe it is only the direct contact, the places where a human is touching the other.
Yes.
Maybe those kind of minimal sanitizing, I
Yes.
think is thing added.
I think it's the personal,
Yeah, personal thing.
it's the personal effort. Like if we're carrying hand sanitizer or
Yes.
something, that's the personal effort. If you're meeting somebody and you've been in contact with them, yeah, make sure that you aren't passing on something. You never know. So if we kind of maintain that, it's already, these habits are already, they've been in
It's
practice
already
in
there.
other countries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Japanese are one of the most cleanest civilizations. The Japanese have been wearing masks. When somebody in Japan is sick, they wear a mask.
Yes.
And whether there's COVID or much before COVID, they were wearing masks. And if they're on a public transport, if they have the flu, they wear a mask. So I think there's a basic courtesies that we can follow, and sanitizing our hands, wearing a mask if you're sick, all this makes a huge difference. It stops the spread of illness and disease.
And in these places, usually people don't fall on each other, or too much crowded.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's there. If we maintain little distance,
Yeah.
at least maybe socializing, or maybe the premises, the atmosphere. Usually, any person, the body language falling on each other.
Yes.
The moment they see this kind of ambience, they try to control.
True.
So I think those kind of limiting the crowd probably may not be the issue in this.
That's true. That's true. In hospitality, of course, we've tried to keep crowds less. But if you see any other service sector as well, I caught a flight recently. I went from Hyderabad to Jaipur, and it was such a pleasant experience to see Hyderabad airport so well kitted out. There were very few people. Nobody was falling on each other. Nobody was shouting. Nobody was screaming. Everybody had their masks on. Everybody was sanitizing at several different checkpoints. They were checking our temperature through thermal screening, and everybody was well behaved. Which if you went like 8-9 months ago to an airport, it was like a fish market.
Yes.
And that's I think that way of life has changed. People are now understanding and respecting that we can actually be civil
Yes.
in a public space. We are civil inside our homes, we are civil in our offices. What's stopping us from acting like human beings in the airport,
Yes.
or the train station, or the bus station, or any other public area? When you go to the market, there's no need for you to like cram up against somebody else and go and bump into other people or scream and shout and all, which is how we were doing. Our way of life was like that earlier,
Yes, yes.
because we were always in a hurry. We had no respect for others, and I think I think because India has such a large population, we were just thinking that life is cheap, and now we are all really appreciating
Yes.
what we have.
Yeah. Now the last question is, what about the air conditioning? See, that is the only thing in a hospital which is centralized. So is
Hotel.
there any measurement for
So,
the air conditioning? See, sanitizing each other is okay, but
Yes.
we are seeing some scientific proof that air condition is spreading. or
Yes.
something.
So
can we? Is there anything measures?
in
brought
our
or-
case, luckily we have common areas which are centrally air conditioned, but most individual rooms we have their own individual air conditioning sets. Having said that, there is a special filtration system that has been added
Very good.
to the common area central AC, and this filtration system manages to capture particles as small as 300 microns. So 200, 150, 300 microns. The coronavirus cell itself is about 400 microns or thereabouts. So if you have a proper filtration system, there's nothing for you to really worry about.
So people can trust and
Oh, yeah.
come back
Yeah,
again
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
have their
Definitely, definitely.
livelihood.
Definitely. Things have changed. Hotels have also changed. Now, if a guest comes to a hotel, uses the room, we have a whole different protocol for how we are sanitizing the beds, how we are laundering the sheets, how we are laundering the towels. We have a whole different system of, there's a whole different technology that has come in. There's UV sanitization, there is different chemicals that are being used for deep cleaning. We are making sure that the room is also not occupied for another 48 hours so that, the virus, if it is there, dies if we've missed out on something. All these things have been put into place.
So you are prepared with everything, so
Oh, yeah.
only need permissions to go
Permissions,
forward.
permissions are also there. Things are open.
So people need to step in.
Yeah, people need to step in. Weddings are happening at 50% capacity of the hall. Earlier we were only allowed 50 people. Now 50% capacity changes things. Before that it was 100 people. So things are getting normal. I think we've also come to terms with the fact that COVID is not the be all and end all of life as we know it. I think we were all scared when we heard about it when it first came in. But I think now we've come to terms with it.
Yes.
Some people have had it, they've recovered, they've become fine. There are many people I know who've had it and recovered. Personally, I think maybe even I might have had it and recovered. But having said that, it's something that you have to kind of live with and you have to move
Go
on.
forward.
You have to take your precautions. You have to
Yeah.
be safe, you have to be secure, you have to take those vitamins, you have to be eating properly, you have to
Which
be
we have to
exercising.
do throughout now.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to. Okay. My viewers are very young viewers. So we had a serious conversation. So I want something. The handsome man must be having a first crush. So just leak that.
Who was my first crush?
Yes. No need of a name, but how was your crush? See, handsome man should reveal something to my viewers, right? They're watching for like something.
My first crush was
I
an
must be grilling.
Italian actress called Monica Bellucci.
Oh, where we'll find her?
On Google.
So from YouTube we want to go and Google for her.
Well, she's a very beautiful lady, and I think she's done some great roles across cinema. And she's quite a stunning, elegant person.
So young crowd lost that Hyderabad happening thing from quite long time. So say something about the happening life you.
I don't think I lead a happening life at all. But to your young viewers, all I can say is that I think things are going to get normal. Things are going to be fine, and we'll be able to kind of go out and socialize in a much more normal way, like how we used to. And we've gone through a tough time. I think everybody's gone through a tough time, and I feel bad for the people who are in school because they've literally kind of missed out on an entire year of fun that they could have had. The experience that you have in school and in college cannot be replaced by sitting at home in front of an iPad or a laptop and having to learn an online class. So it's been a tough time, but things are getting normal and everything will be okay, and there's
Children
fun
in
ahead.
the city, trust me, they are very happy inside that they got a long holidays.
Yes.
Online classes, God knows what they are listening really, because they know they are all going to be passed out this year.
Yes, that's
so
true.
they're enjoying. I don't think that these golden holidays they'll get again, and we don't wish that they should get. So anyway, thank you so much. This is City Strong Personality. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please subscribe Mr. Local and don't forget to watch his complete video.